Boom! It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon here at Simoson Building. And I know I could have done this in the evening. I could have easily done it. I could have shown up at about 6 p.m. But you know, sometimes when you feel an unction to do something, when you feel a sort of like a nudging to do it, and you're able to do it, I do it. I just turn on my lights and I put my phone on my little tripod there and I connect to the Wi-Fi and I just press record and here I am. That is the benefit, and those, my brothers and sisters, are the benefits of being a content creator, is that you can just jump on anytime you feel like it. So guys, Joseph Chishimba from Solihull, England is watching us. Thank you, Joseph, for being with me for a few moments. And guys, do me a favor, if you could, just share this live, sort of spread it around to people that you think would be interested in this conversation, and let's get this show on the road, okay? Can I tell you what I feel like eating today? It's going to be lunch hour in about 10 minutes. I am craving fish. You know this famous okra fish? Oh my goodness. Have you had that? Make a tadpole slap a whale. Tell you what, make you slap your mama. Don't do that. Don't slap your mama. Don't. That's just an Americanism that people use, and don't ever do that, okay? But that's what I'm craving. So as soon as this live is done, I'm hopping in my car, I'm driving off, and I'm going to have that for lunch. Okra fish with, did I ever share with you that I do a lot of shinkling? I'm the type of person that shinkas a lot. Do you know what it means to shinka? To shinka means I eat most of the relish, but I eat a bit of the nshima. So I pick at the nshima, but I really eat the fish, okay? Because, you know, at my age and my girth, I need to reduce that. I need to reduce the intake of nshima. Do you know what I mean? Right. Guys, let's talk about it. I know three things I'd like to briefly discuss with you. And I'll be honest with you, this is something that I think these are very important conversations to have. And whenever they do roll around, it's very important to sort of deal with them comprehensively and aggressively. Let's begin with, there's an overweight, not that I'm any better, okay, let's just be clear, but to provide context, I need to say that, okay? There's an overweight guy, he's a dark-skinned fella, and he calls himself a prophet, and one of these musicians, I've never heard his music. I know the name. I've heard of Afunika. Is it Afunika or Afunika? I've never heard his music. And if I have heard his music, I didn't know that was him. Well, apparently one of these musicians went to these false prophets. And this false prophet began to speak some words to him. And Afunika is ripe for deception. You know, these false prophets, they can pick you out in the crowd. They are adept at identifying people that will consume their bull roar left, right, and center. As soon as they look at you, these guys are so steeped in deception, one look, they can tell you're ripe for deception. And so Afunika, against his better judgment, went to this church, wherever the hell it is, and this so-called prophet began to speak into Afunika's life. He began to say, I saw in the realm of the spirit. Now, the moment these Facebook prophets use that phrase, that is a telltale sign they're a scammer, okay? Because they didn't see anything in the realm of the spirit. Not one single thing did they see in the realm of the spirit. So he goes on to say that he talks about an album being buried somewhere. And then he goes on to say, he says that there are people They're people that are trying to block your destiny. Let me stop there for a moment and tell you that one of the telltale signs, one of the pieces of ammunition that false prophets use is they love to draw division, that they love to drive a wedge between you and people. They never tell you who it is that's trying to destroy your life. They just simply plant the seed in your head, and then you yourself, you come up with someone. If a false prophet says to you, I see in the realm of the spirit your aunt wants you dead. The false prophet will never tell you the name of the aunt. They will simply plant the seed in your head. You yourself will come up with the aunt. You'll say, oh, so auntie badia. That's why that's why that auntie of mine looks at me like that. It's because this prophet is telling me that the auntie I'm thinking of is the one who's trying to kill me. When they do that, they have succeeded in dividing your family. And let me tell you, false prophets, the engine that drives false prophets is division, fear, and deception. Those are the only tools in their box of ammunition. That's all they use against you. They try to plant fear in you. They sow seeds of division in your family. Why? Because the more confusion they create in your family, the more they appear legitimate to you. That is the only goal. And then, of course, the end goal is money. They only want money from you. At the end of whatever a false prophet says, it's all about money. You sow a seed so that I pray for you and so that your album can be successful. But if your album is rubbish, it's rubbish. No amount of prayer is going to change that. Understand that. Okay, some of you are so earthly minded that you're no spiritual good. Others of you are so spiritually minded that you're no earthly good. Some of you, your heads are in the cloud. You see a demon on every corner. Everything to you is some type of spiritual encounter. Every dream means something. Well, can I tell you that not all dreams mean anything? Sometimes dreams are just dreams. You have to accept that. But there's some of you, you are so steeped into this idea that everything means something. You will live a miserable life if you walk through life like that. That is called the spirit of fear. And God hasn't given you the spirit of fear. He's given you the spirit of a sound mind. Endure sound doctrine. I keep telling you this, but every so often these false prophets, they pop up. And so this guy, this overweight false prophet says to Afunika, or whoever the heck he is, he says to him, they're trying to, and anytime you see a false prophet do this, niskerim, wabu fi, those chaps are crooks. And he says, no, people are trying to stand in the way of your destiny. And in fact, they were trying to kill you through an accident. What type of nonsense is that? Where have you ever heard that? They're trying to kill you through who is trying to kill you? The reason the false prophet plants that seed in Afunika's head is so that Afunika chap goes home and starts thinking, who amongst my friends was trying to kill me? So then he walks through life thinking, is it you that was trying to kill me? Is it you? Is it you? The whole time the false prophet is just laughing because you've given him money. He's even forgotten about you. But he has left you in mental anguish and torture, trying to think, who was trying to kill me? Kabili, he's planted that seed in your head. And they have no shame. False prophets will destroy your life. You will be standing there with with nothing but broken pieces in your hand. You would have lost your family. You would have lost your children. You would have lost your job. You would have lost everything that you held dear to your heart, because you opened yourself up to these false prophets, and they spoke a word of a lie and planted it in your heart and in your spirit. And you are left writhing in doubt, self-doubt, anguish, and mental torture. That's what they do. They're bad news, those chaps. Those chaps, bad news. Stay away from them. Anyone that uses a word that suggests that someone is plotting evil against you, an associate, a family member, anyone, when these false prophets drive a wedge between you and your family, they're no good. They are hell-bent on causing chaos in your life, and they will do it with their eyes wide shut. Read the Word of God for yourself. Attend a Bible-based church that preaches the unalterable, unchangeable Word of God, and serve in that church. Not if you'll be hopping from a prophet to prophet. Why you? Hey, prophet, give me a word. Now akumona, he sees for him it's money. Why he's all than a filamba? Oh, prophet, give me a word. They love that. Immediately they'll start giving you. But to all the information that Afunika, all the information that false prophet was spewing, was information that he was privy to. Someone, either Afunika himself or someone associated with Afunika, told that chap all those stories of the accident. You are standing there. Oh, yes, indeed, I can confirm, Pastor, Prophet, I can confirm it's true. I was in an accident and they were trying to kill. Information that either you or someone close to you gave that false prophet. You think it came from God? It didn't. God doesn't talk to those chaps. You think God speaks to that guy? Not a chance. Those guys are despots. They're bottom feeders. They're moochers. They're criminals. Wolves in sheep's clothing. And they desire to put you on a plate and sift you as wheat. Careful. They're bad news, those chaps. So anyway, the idea, the suggestion, the implication is that someone was trying to stand in the way of Afunika's success. Wofi. But musicians, listen to me. Nobody's trying to stand in the way of your success. When you're good, you're good. When you're good, the people respond to that. When Mutamz sits down to write a song and his talent comes through and the Zambian people hear it and it resonates with them. Now, keep in mind, not every single song that Mutamz has ever written is a hit. Most of them are, but not every single one. What does that tell you? It tells you that he is honing his craft. He gets better. He gets better and better. And better and better. He keeps at it. Why? Because he's working hard. Now, there are some of you, you think that success will fall on your lap because some false prophet sprays oil on your head. You think your album will resonate with the public simply because a heavy-set, dark prophet brings a spray and sprays on your head and prays for you, and now you think that your album will be #1 and it will have 10 million views on YouTube. Woofy! Woofy! That only comes through hard work, consistency. That's all. And let's face it, some people don't have it. Okay? There's a very famous scene in Tyler Perry's film, The Jazzman's Blues. There's a young man in there, a character in there called Bayou. Bayou loved to sing because his mother sang. But Bayou's father used to play the trumpet. And Bayou's father tried to teach him how to play the trumpet, but it just wasn't his thing. So when each time Bayou's father would ask him, play the trumpet, he would do a terrible job. You know why? Because that's not his thing. That wasn't his forte. But when he sang, that was his thing. What's my point? My point is, sometimes it's just not your thing. If you're not a good musician, maybe it's just not your thing. Try something else. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong. Thrive where you're planted, but thrive because you know what you're doing. Okay, if you've got a goal and the evidence is there, it's like the show, The Icon. There are many people who go there thinking they're brilliant singers, but they're not. You know why? Because it's not their thing. It's simply not their thing. And then there are others who shine effortlessly. They do it effortlessly without even trying. You know why? Because it's their thing. So maybe Afunika, maybe his thing is just not, his album is just not resonating. Maybe that's what it, maybe he needs to go back to the drawing board. Maybe he needs to change producers. Maybe he needs to change studios. But to sit there and go to a false prophet and say, no, prophet, pray for me, but to someone who's trying to kill me, my album was buried in a grave somewhere. Those are lies. He just wants money from you. All right. Secondly, I want to talk about this lady, Lilly Mutambbo. You know, years ago, when I first came into the knowledge of who Lilly Mutambbo was, my initial encounter with Lilly Mutambbo was that she used to call herself Gelo Apazed on YouTube. The impression that I got of Lilly Mutambbo was someone that was trying to teach and educate Zambians on how to use YouTube, because she was thriving on YouTube in a way that very few other Zambians were thriving. So her content, the content that I saw of her, was based on trying to equip, trying to help Zambians get into YouTube, to follow the proper channels, to register properly. That was her content. And then somewhere along the line, someone told her, whispered in her ear, that you could actually use your platform to become a politician. So she came to Zambia and she joined the political fray, and she aligned herself with the UPND, and she was trying to get adopted by the UPND and trying to run for some constituency. Tell me in the comments which constituency that was, because I forget. Okay, so when she came here, she did some philanthropic work, she did some charity work, and she was trying to get in good with the people of Zambia, because in her mind, I think she felt that money could buy her way through anything. It was Munali, that's right, thank you, Munali. But along the way, the UPND did not adopt her. When the UPND didn't adopt her, that is when the fangs came out. That is when she shed this persona of a benevolent, lady that was just trying to help people. That's when the gloves came off and she literally became a vampire. I mean, she became a female werewolf, grew fangs, hair started growing from her head. These claws came out, and her tongue became the forked tongue, and she had this serpent-like sort of attitude. And then she went on a rampage on Facebook, and she began to insult the UPND for not having adopted her. Let's stop there for a moment. That's when you know you've got a problem. When people don't give you what you want, and then you turn on those people, it means you didn't like those people in the first place. Just because you don't get what you want doesn't mean that you can retaliate in that way. Sometimes it has a lot to do with maybe it's not your time. Wait your turn. Edgar Lungu used to call it the pecking order. There is a pecking order. ECL used to say that. There's a pecking order. Sometimes wait your turn. Those of you that want to put your names forward for leadership, sometimes you may not get adopted. Maybe it's not your time. Maybe even when you have the resources, because there's some people that turn around and say, no, maybe it's because you're broke, you don't have money, they don't pay attention to you. No, sometimes people see you for who you are. They see the leadership quality in you. But just because they say no doesn't mean it's permanent. No sometimes means maybe not now, maybe later. But Lilly Mutambbo didn't want to hear no. She was not patient. Immediately, she was rejected. She grew these fangs. She turned into a werewolf. And she began to tear the UPND apart. Fast forward, when Edgar Lungu died, Lilly Mutambbo went on a crusade to attack the daughter of ECL, Tasila Lungu. She went on social media and she talked about ECL, said, your father was this, your father was evil, she said a lot of things. And then a short time later, she switched. She changed. She now started supporting ECL and the family in his death. Now, what I find strange about this woman is, on one hand, she can use the most foul language. She can use the most putrid insults on one hand, and then immediately, almost in the same breath, she'll start quoting scripture. My goodness. What is that? That's a split personality. She's schizophrenic. She's taken permanent leave of her senses. She has lost her cotton-picking Georgia peach mind. Whenever you have a person who can stand and quote Bible scripture, and then in the very next breath, utter the most putrid insults. And I think at one time she was called a prophetess or something, I don't know. So you are a prophetess, but ulatuka nensele. What is the demut is that? I mean, for who? For what for? That is utter nonsense. There is no Christianity in that. There is no transformation in. Those are people that are Christians only on paper. Those are not practicing Christians. Those are Christians of convenience. As and when it applies. As and when they feel like it. That is the type of person that lady is. And then a short time later, Mutale decided to speak about Lilly Mutambbo, because I think Mutale just simply had enough. She had it up to here. Mutale went on her Facebook page and literally tore Lilly Mutambbo apart. There was no response from Lilly Mutambbo. None. Why? Because Mutale basically just said, you know what? You're an utter nuisance on Facebook. Now, Lilly Mutambbo's gone on some crusade where she says, me, I can't be arrested, and this, that, and the other, and just one thing after another. The few times that I interacted with Lilly Mutambbo, this was back when I thought Mutuntulu. This was when I thought she was sort of a decent human being. Well, come to find out, there is nothing decent about that lady. you know, she used to send me money to give to different people. There's one time, there's a young boy here by the name of Gerald. Or is it Jared? I always call him Jared. She felt, there was a video I did with Gerald, or Jared, and something in the video touched her heart. So she calls me up and she says, I'm going to send you 10,000 kwacha to give to Gerald. Please give it to him. And I did. She sent it to me. I called Gerald up and I said, hey, listen, man, you got a gift from Lilly. He couldn't believe it. He even fell to his knees. So I gave him the money. And then a few other people, I think she did that with maybe 3 or 4 people, not the 10,000, but 3 or 4 other people, you know, maybe 2,500 here, 1,000 there. And I gave these people. And she was always, every time I spoke to her on the phone, she had this thing like, she was saying to me, she says, you know, Simon, I'm rich now. I'm very wealthy here in England. And I said, really? She said, yeah, I'm a millionaire now. She says, I'm a millionaire in pounds. So I said to her, I said, hey, do you mind sending me 10,000? You know, I just wanted to hear what she was going to say. She sent it to me. I said, because right before she sent it, I said, do you mind if you could send it to me, lend me 10,000, and then after a couple of days I can pay back to you. Immediately, right there, she sent it. A couple of days later, I sent it back to her. But the reason I did that was I wanted to find out where her headspace was. Because she just kept on talking about money and how she was rich, she was wealthy, she was a millionaire, this, that, the other. And I thought, okay, you know, so I sent her back the money. And then where her and I became sort of juxtaposed was when I called for the arrest of the young couple that left their children unattended and they died in that fire. My point, and I still stand on that point, my point was, parents should not leave their children unattended. And whenever children die, especially, I mean, there were 3. It's bad enough when 1 child dies. But when 3 children die, I mean, somebody needs to go to jail for that. And I said those parents were negligent. They were negligent, and they should pay the price for that ill-fated decision. Lilly Mutambbo grew fangs. I mean, the girl literally turned into a vampire. I mean, she had these long nails came out of her fingers. She started growing hair. Her eyes turned red, and she just came after me. She just called me everything in the book, mate. Everything in the book. No, where was this? Where was that? All I was saying was, don't leave your children unattended. Toddlers that can't fend for themselves. Don't leave them unattended. When you do that and they die, somebody has to pay for it. Our sugar. She just went on a rampage, insulting me on her page, left, right, and center. I just said, oh, she knows in her heart. I mean, Lilly Mutambbo herself works in England, where such nonsense is not tolerated. If you leave your child unattended and umwana afwa, bwana, you're going to prison. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You are going to prison. That was my point. I'm always misunderstood on Facebook. I am. Well, that's my lot in life, isn't it? That's the life I've chosen. It's true. So anyway, so Lilly Mutambbo now has just turned into some type of, I don't know, she's schizophrenic, mate. I mean, she's literally taken permanent leave of her senses. It's amazing that she even does what she does on Facebook. She's no longer that girl that used to teach people how to use YouTube. Oh no. She's just become a right sad lunatic on Facebook. True. All right, lastly, Junior Bali. You guys know this young man who does an incredible impression of HH. I mean, this kid is stellar. He's so talented. He's a brilliant impressionist of the president. He, a few days ago, issued an apology to Lilly Mutambbo, which I didn't understand. I honestly didn't understand that. I said, why the heck is this kid doing this? So I phoned him up and I said, Sonny, if you watch that apologize to Lilly Mutambbo, what's the issue there? What did you say and why did you apologize? So he proceeded to tell me that, you know, I had posted, meaning him, he posted that if Lilly continues to attack HH, that Junior Bali would attack Lilly. Lilly Mutambbo's rabid followers, because you know these people they're lunatics. Her rabid followers and a lot of PF guys, they went into Junior Bali's inbox and they started threatening the kid. They started saying all sorts of things to him. Now, he's a young man, very impressionable. He hasn't been in social media long. And you know, these young kids, I mean, these kids are different from us. I mean, we've been in social media for so long. We've developed rhinoceros skin. Nothing bothers us, mate. Nothing. I mean, you could say all you want. We'll drink tea while we read your comments. Not these kids. These kids that are coming up, their skin is not that developed yet. They haven't developed what I call rhinoceros skin yet. Of course, they'll develop it over time. But as they are coming into their own, as they're trying to cement their footprint in this social media space, they're very impressionable. So when Junior Bali received all these threats and comments and people from the PF and Lilly Mutambbo's rabid lunatic followers threatening him, he felt very uncomfortable. So he said to me, he says, Mr. Moore, I didn't know what to do. Then I told him, I said, son, social media 101, never read comments from haters in your inbox, number one. Number two, never sit and read hateful comments in the comment section. Maybe read one or two. But if you read, if you've got 900 comments and 300 of them are negative, and you read 300 comments, that's going to mess you up. Don't read that stuff. Simply remove you do what you know how to do best. Of course, when you come into, when you need guidance on something, you know what that is. Your heart will tell you, your spirit will tell you that no, you know, do this, that, and the other. And over time, you learn it. But when your inbox is flooded with haters, and then you begin to self-doubt. He said, I didn't know I didn't know if what I did was the right thing. So I was pressured into apologizing to Lilly Mutambbo. I said to Junior Bali, I said, Iwe, your loyalty is to the president. Because that's how you've carved your content. Your loyalty is to the head of state. When you said to Lilly Mutambbo, if Lilly Mutambbo doesn't stop attacking Bali, you will start attacking Lilly Mutambbo. That is your content. That's how you do your thing. Nobody should box you into a corner and threaten you because you've taken a position. So he starts to tell me that the other problem is that he doesn't feel support. He doesn't feel like he's getting the support that he needs in order to advance his content. I said, son, this is my advice to you. Position yourself in such a way that the administration needs you to advance certain messages. But don't put yourself in a position where you're constantly doing this, constantly asking for alms. Provide a service. Provide a valuable service that you can be paid for. If it's always about just asking for money, you won't get very far, especially not with this administration. I mean, these guys don't joke around. If you're going to provide a service, and I told him, I said, you are very valuable to this administration. I mean, I see your content. In other countries, in England, in America, you junior Bally, this chap would be rolling in money. Money! Nikono tuangala, kunoku Zambia. That chap, you wait and see, 2026, those are the people who are key components to the 2026 campaign. Those chaps. So I said to him, I said, position yourself. Make yourself useful, make yourself valuable, and without tangisha, you don't say mpia. Ule tangisha, put service first. When you do that, people will see the value and they'll attach money to your value. No manga, if you just come out of the gate, ule romba fi mpia dions. Akari konse, nimpia. You're going to lose it. Provide the service. You're very talented. Use your talent. And he said, I apologize to Lilly because my inbox was flooded. I said, son, those are just haters. By you apologizing to that woman, you have simply legitimized that lunatic. You've legitimized her. Don't do that. Know who you are. Stand by what you believe. Stand by your content. Because now that you've apologized to her, your content is juxtaposed. Because you're not a friend of Lilly and Mutambbo. That's not your friend. She's not your friend. Your friend is this administration because your persona is your impersonation of HH. That's your persona. So your loyalty is not to Mutambbo, whatever her name is. Do you hone your craft and get better, improve on everything that you do. Because in 2026, I'm telling you, these are the young boys that are going to be making money. In the election year 2026, all right, thought I'd share that with you guys. Okra fish. God bless.